Hello, good morning. Warm welcome to your decoding of the ET Wealth newspaper. I'm Priyanka Bhatia from Women on Wealth. How are we? What are we doing? Are we reading ET Wealth? Have we read an article or even one paragraph or even one line? Because we at Women on Wealth believe that only 1% improvement a day can make you 37 times better with your finances. So today, as my people are joining in, my first question will be, have we all read even one line of ET Wealth? Because I think we need to get started somewhere. One line, one paragraph, two paragraphs, one article, where are we? So start typing, everybody. Hi, Ritu, good morning. Radhika, Maya, Suvarna, good morning. Have you guys read one line of ET Wealth? I'm not expecting a whole lot, but yes, I think I can expect one line at least from my community members to begin with. As beginners, we can take that on. What do you think? Rupal, Kavneet, good morning, warm welcome. Please start typing. Hi Pooja, good morning. I love those hearts coming in, and I love all different kinds of smileys which are coming my way. Have we read the ET Wealth? Even one line counts. Start acknowledging your small wins. I would love that some of you actually acknowledge yourself today. Okay, got it, Radhika? Headlines, brilliant. Never say just headlines. Radhika, इससे पहले तो आपने headlines भी नहीं पढ़ी होंगी ना ET Wealth की, isn't it? Tell me. Hi Nidhi, Namita, good morning. Okay, you've read the entire paper? Wow, that's something, because I have not read the entire paper. Okay, Kavneet, you've read the article, Funds That Don't Deserve Your Money? Got that, yes. So smile, Radhika, like you're laughing right now. So just keep laughing, smiling, and always acknowledge yourself, right? Because I am sure what you're doing today, you have not done it in the past, and that's progress. Hi Pooja, good morning, warm welcome. So today I am going to talk about this cover story. And this cover story is a study by ET Wealth and PrimeInvestor.in. And they are saying the headline is Funds That Don't Deserve Your Money. So there are some 12 underperforming schemes. ET Wealth is reporting 12 underperforming schemes which are together managing over 2 lakh crore rupees. Okay guys, so 12 underperforming schemes, 2 lakh crore worth of investors' money in these schemes, 17.5% of the total 11 lakh crore rupees of AUM of all equity funds. So this is like 17.5% money which is underperforming, which is over 2 lakh crores. Investors are not switching from these funds because they are unaware of how badly the funds are doing. Often we do this, right? I mean, remember your time when you were not financially literate? Were you really tracking your investments? Were you really seeing how they were doing, what was happening? Were you even aware of how the financial tools or financial Excel sheets need to be built? So the similar story is for these people who are unaware of how badly the funds are doing. ELSS schemes are the worst. What are ELSS schemes? These are tax saving schemes. So the tax saving schemes are the worst. And investors can't exit before 3 years. Regular monitoring of fund performance and advice from professionals yields better result. Well, I would say not just regular monitoring. I don't agree with ET Wealth here. It's not just the regular, it's saying regular monitoring of fund performance. Now, I don't agree with that because just mapping the fund performance is not enough. So we need to really be looking at many other aspects of a fund manager, its strategy, its many other risk measures and risk to return measures, etc. Just looking at the performance in terms of the return is not enough. So that's what I would say. Now, how have they identified these funds that they are saying are not performing well, they are underperforming? So the metrics that they are using are, they've only considered actively managed funds. So which means no index funds, no passive funds, it's just the active managed funds. And these have a minimum 3-year track record. And the returns of these funds are compared with indices. Like large cap funds are compared with Nifty 100 TRI. Flexi cap is measured with Nifty 500 TRI. Flexi cap, multi cap and ELS, all of them are tracked with Nifty 500 TRI, and mid cap categories Nifty mid cap 100 TRI. So these are the benchmarks with which the returns are compared of the active funds. And now they're saying the metrics used are, number one is outperformance in rolling returns. So the returns which have gotten created over the last year and two. So the outperformance in those returns with regard to the benchmark. Then information on Sharpe ratios and many other ratios, right? We've all learnt about them in the Money Gym program, which are all the risk to return measures. Then average 3-year returns, standard deviation, upside and downside capturing, which is standard deviation. So all that is measured to come up with a list like this of underperformers. And they are only picking funds which are worth over 5,000 crore. Okay, so over 5,000 crore is what they're looking at. So now start listening. In the large cap category, Aditya Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity is number one. HDFC Top 100. Well, if you notice, HDFC Top 100 must be some 27-30-year-old fund. This is not a new fund, and it has outperformed in its time. And earlier it used to be known as HDFC 200, and it has created a lot of wealth for its investors. It used to be, I clearly remember because I had also invested in it many donkeys years ago, and it used to be called HDFC 200, and now it's HDFC 100. Top 200, okay, and now it's HDFC Top 100. It has created a lot of money for investors, but now it is not the fund of the future. And well, we all in the community have studied it and we all know about this. ICICI Prudential Blue Chip is another fund. Nippon India Large Cap is another fund. Okay, now if you notice the how the value of how these have not beaten the benchmark. So if you look at the returns of the benchmark, which is Nifty 100 over Aditya Birla Sun Life Frontline Equity, so Nifty 100 is 7,000 rupees more. In the case of HDFC Top 100, Nifty 100 is about 33,000 rupees more. In ICICI Prudential Blue Chip, compared to Nifty 100, so Nifty 100 is 12,000 rupees up. In Nippon India, if you compare with Nifty 100, 21,000 rupees up is Nifty 100. So these are all the large caps. So if you notice these numbers and you notice some of the high performers in the large cap category, you will notice that there are only a few large caps which are doing exceptionally well at this point. And what we need to be doing is really being careful, okay, really being careful in our selection of these funds, because otherwise we don't know what we are falling into. Like we all know, most large cap funds are not performing great returns. They're not generating great returns. They're not performing or outperforming the benchmark. And hence there's a lot of conversation that has been going on investing in index funds or passive funds as against large cap funds. But I don't think so that time has really come in the Indian market as yet. It had come long time ago in the US market. but I don't think that that time is right now here in the Indian stock market. So what needs to happen is that we need to be carefully identifying our funds, and then we need to be carefully monitoring it, right? Make sure that the governance is in place and any other issues don't exist. Moving on to now the flexi cap, multi cap category. So HDFC flexi cap. Why does every time the okay? So HDFC flexi cap. Okay. Now HDFC flexi cap has lost to Nifty 500. Nifty 500 TRI is 25,000 rupees more return than HDFC flexi cap. Motilal Oswal flexi cap, Nifty 500 has 48,000 rupees more returns to give. HDFC mid cap opportunity. So now we're talking about a mid cap fund where we are comparing it with Nifty mid cap 100 TRI. So HDFC mid cap is like 7,665 rupees behind. Sundaram mid cap is 56,000 rupees behind. Coming to some tax saving funds. So Aditya Birla Sun Life Tax Relief 96 when compared with Nifty 500. So Nifty 500 is 63,000 rupees ahead. HDFC Tax Saver is 63,986 rupees ahead. Nippon India Tax Saver is 65,518 rupees behind. And SBI Long Term Equity, again, I'm not sure if this is ELSS category. Let me just check. Yes, it is. Okay, so this is ELSS, and compared to Nifty 500, Nifty 500 is 14,000 rupees ahead. So, and this is when you would have invested 1 lakh rupees everyone. Okay, just 1 lakh rupees and you're behind by that much. All the underperforming funds. What are you learning? What are you understanding from all this information and all the, the lack of returns that these funds have provided when compared to the benchmark? Start typing. What are you learning? What are you understanding? What is the information you're getting? Hi Ridhima, Neelu, Hira, Pooja, good morning. Okay, Nidhi, you also read funds that don't deserve your money. I get that. Okay, brilliant. So Nidhi has read this article and she's sharing her learning that bulk investments have more impact than SIPs. Yes, absolutely. And no wonder why we are talking about SIPs, right? Okay, what else? What else is everybody understanding? Okay, ELSS is the worst affected? Seems like. Yeah, pretty much seems like. Namita, there's a really valid point where you are. And there are some tax saving funds which are also the top performing. I mean, look at the kind of, look at the kind of irony which exists, that ELSS is one of the top performing funds, okay, in the tax saving categories. NPS is number 2 and PPF and EPF are all way behind. So ELSS or tax saving mutual funds are the topmost category when it comes to tax saving and the returns that the ELSS generate. But these ELSS have underperformed. It's not all ELSS, because I think there are some ELSS which are really doing very well. So yeah, Rupal, study funds on different parameters and these won't pass the test anyway. Brilliant, Rupal. Yes, now that's a money gymmer talking, who is using the study learnt in the money gym program and saying, buddy, anyways, these will not pass our test. Yes. Pooja, better to have diversified funds? Sure. Yes, diversified in different categories. That means Ritu, beginners need to be extra careful while selection of funds and start with low investment till we gain enough confidence. Tax saving instruments are underperforming and do not deserve our money. ELSS is the worst affected, yes. And we got to make sure that, right now ELSS is showing up, but actually it is in all categories, that there are many funds which are underperforming, they're not performing well. And then what needs to happen is that we need to really be careful in our selection, because ultimately it's our hard-earned money and we don't want to be just wasting it. In-depth study of each fund is very crucial for investing. It is shocking to know that these funds have so much money in them. Yeah, Pooja, I mean 2 lakh crore rupees. I was like, I was like, okay, what's happening here? But then I also know that there are so many people who do not do their study and they just buy without understanding, without really learning. So that's a constant mistake that people are making. Some of them are intelligent people like you who have taken a different course, but otherwise people are not leaving the advisory model and where all this exists, right? So that's what is it for today. Anything else, guys? What are you taking away? Anything that you can implement in your portfolios? Anything that you're learning today that you can really put forward? And everybody who's joined in late, did you read the ET Wealth newspaper? Did you even read one line? Because if you read even one line, that matters. If you read even headlines, that matters, like I was telling Radhika in the beginning of this live. So start typing, guys, what are you taking away? And then I have a small nugget to share from Dhirendra Kumar's article, because I actually implemented it. So I want to share about that before we close. So please share anything that you want to before we move to the next item. Okay, Kavneet is saying 2 lakh crore of investors' money underperforming. That's a big loss. Hope they get aware of it soon and switch to other ones. Kavneet, I am hoping, trusting that this universe will guide them towards the world of financial education. Because if they keep persisting like this, then nothing major is going to happen, like really. I'm clear about that. Okay. So I'm moving on to Dhirendra Kumar's article now. Somebody I really admire. I truly love him. Okay, towards wow. Kavneet, towards Women on Wealth or towards any educational institution which is into finance, I think everybody needs to turn to financial education. You can also learn by yourself. It just depends how much time more you wanna just lose. So yeah, all of that. So Dhirendra Kumar, guys, his article is on rebalance now to avoid investing regrets. I have often seen people talk about diversification and never look at actual diversification in their portfolio. Like they will talk about diversification as an information junkie. Right? So knowing about diversification makes no difference. How are you mapping it? That is critical. So in our Money Gym program, of course, we have various ways in which we are mapping our total net worth and diversification in it. We are mapping mutual funds, stocks, and actual diversification within stocks, within mutual funds, and diversification in all kinds of investments. So while we are doing that, many people are not doing that. So here Dhirendra Kumar is talking about how we all need to have a pre-decided asset allocation. So we need to decide how much allocation do we want to see in our portfolio and what percentage do we want to see. And then, he's talking about that map that. that are you there, not there, and keep balancing it. He's talking about balancing once a year, while I just continue to look at it almost every other day for my own portfolio. Like, I don't wait for an entire year to map my allocation. I constantly look at it, I constantly watch it, and then take actions basis that. So I already have a pre-decided allocation, and I actually had it even much earlier, and then I started investing. And I want to tell you from my personal story, because with this article I could actually connect with my personal story, that I wrote my pre-decided asset allocation, and then I started investing, and my equity allocation was the highest that I saw. And no matter how much I invested, it never went that high. But the stock market kept going up. So whether they were equity mutual funds, stocks, they kept going up, of course, because I had selected good quality stocks and mutual funds till then with my own study. And a point came where my asset allocation with regard to the investments which were worth was exactly the pre-decided allocation that I had seen for my portfolio. So, sometimes it is that as money gymmers, or, as anybody else from outside who you might be listening, it is critical that we map our asset allocation, we map the diversification in our portfolio. And when we are at least, say, 5 years, 6 years old in the market, we need to start mapping the diversification basis how much our investments are worth. Because if you do not map that, the key is that you will miss looking at the actual asset allocation. You will be looking at it just from the amount invested, and 5-6 years later it won't make that much sense. So, well, all of that is not written in Dhirendra Kumar's article, but I just thought I will pick some points from here and share how actually practical implementation can happen for money gymmers. And for anybody new who's listening, if you don't have a tool to map diversification, then you are talking in theory. And we don't believe in becoming information junkies here at Women on Wealth. We're absolutely practical investors, and that's what we are constantly striving for. Okay, so we is saying a good choice of the fund is difference of where we are versus where we can be. Yeah, an independent way of choosing your funds. Guys, start typing what you're learning from the asset allocation bit. Is there anything you could see for yourself, for your portfolio, for your learning? Pooja is saying just investing in a fund, a mutual fund, without mindful study and understanding whether it even helps us reach our goals is dangerous. Yes, it's dangerous for our money life. It actually sabotages our financial goals. It doesn't take us where we want to go. So, yes, absolutely, Pooja. I cannot agree with you more. And I'm somebody whose heart goes out to people who are investing on hearsay advice without having any understanding or just watching funds performance. That's not how you do it. Right? So everybody start typing. What are you taking away? What are you learning? And anybody who got a lot of value from the content, could you type in shared and share this video? How many of you are ready to share this video for the benefit of other people? Sometimes it really pays off to pay it forward, right? Okay, I can see some thumbs up and some heart coming, which I love. I think we're all hungry for some love in life. Absolutely. Who all are sharing, please type in shared. And then start typing, what are you taking away? What are you learning? What are you implementing? Anything. Okay, I can see some thumbs up coming, some hearts coming. Okay, thank you guys. Christina, this is the one thing that stopped me all these years from investing based on advices and not studying and researching properly. Now that I have a mentor, I'm hopeful. Sure, Christina, thank you so much. Nidhi, this is very informative discussion. I've not taken complete of this discussion, but it will definitely help in the long run. Okay, some words seem to go missing here. I think you're saying that you're benefiting now and you will benefit all throughout, and I know that. And well, guys, did you watch the Wake Up Women series that I had with Nidhi yesterday? She's right here and she was there yesterday, and I absolutely loved our candid discussion yesterday. Yes, Nidhi, thank you. Okay, anybody else? When you want to share anything, I'm right here listening to you guys. Always know that I'm listening to you. Resina, you're saying I am more aware now, was in a 10-year investment that did not reap the fruits that was promised. Oh, I think we've all made that mistake, right, Resina? We've all invested on hearsay, we've taken our lessons, and that's why we are here saying that no, advisory and dependent way of financial decision making is not for me. Vandini, good to see you. You're saying you need to work on mapping your diversification and figuring out the tools for it. Vandini, it's the net worth sheet, the stocks portfolio, the mutual funds portfolio, the asset weight. So that is actually mapping diversification practically in the Money Gym system. So go for it, okay? If you're not on track, bring yourself back on track, because that is what matters. On this note, guys, closing this live, thank you so much for coming in, sharing, loving, listening, and participating. We are better together and we will keep growing together. So I will keep coming with more and more nuggets, and now I see you on Thursday with my Investment Mastery series. Loads of love, take charge, stay safe, and do come to share your nuggets and take mine. Loads of love. Take charge.